Okay, hi everybody. We're going to do a session on the SPSS methods for the chi-square test for independence. So first of all, let's look at what's going to be the SPSS steps. So in order to run a chi-square test for independence in SPSS, we will need to click on Analyze and then go Descriptive Statistics and construct a cross-tabulation, cross-tabs. We have two variables to test on, so move one variable to the row box and one variable to the column box. And let us also click on statistics and check the chi-square option. And to the end, we will just need to click continue and hit OK. We're going to use one example here. The example we want to do is use a chi-square test to examine the relationship that is between architectural style and a construction type of a house at a significance level of 0.05. So over here, what we're testing is we're testing whether the two variables, which is architectural style and construction type of a house, if these two variables are related or not. Okay. So if we look at the solution to the very end, you're going to have the hypothesis, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis to be architectural style and construction type of house are unrelated for null, and architectural style and construction types of house are related for alternative. Just variable A and variable B are related, variable A and variable B are unrelated. Okay. And let's see how do we do this in SPSS. We'll need to construct a cross tabulation, which is also called the contingency table in SPSS, to investigate the relationship between these two variables. So here we go. We are at the SPSS file containing a bunch of data on house, okay, in related to the house architectural style as well as the construction type. So these two are the variables we would be work on, okay? And if you look at these two variables, the constructions types have the variables with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and architectural style has the variable values as 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's look at these two variables specifically in order to know what's the value represent. What do the values represent? So if we go to the variable view, you can see the architectural style, okay, which is this arc. And if you once again let us click the value, and you can see 1 represents 2-story, 2 represents split level, and 3 represents ranch. So that's different types. And if you look at construction, okay, so let's click on its value labels. So you can see 1 is full brick, 2 means it's the brick or wood, 4 is wood. Okay. So these are the values of these different, the labels of different values. Okay, so now let's go ahead and work on constructing a contingency table of the construction type as well as the architectural style. So you go to Analyze, and we want to construct a contingency table. So let's go Descriptive Stats and then the cross tabulations. Okay, so we need to move the two variables into rows and columns. Suppose I want to do architectural style in the rows, so I can move architectural into the rows and construction types into columns. Well, it really doesn't matter which one goes in a row, which one goes into the column. You can also switch these two. It won't affect the result in the end. So let's click on the statistics and check our stats, which is the chi-square. Okay, that's what we need. Okay, after that, let's hit continue and hit OK. By doing this, the SPSS is going to construct a cross tabulations, okay, of 3 individual tables. So you're going to just copy and then paste these 3 tables. The first table tells us what's the sample size. So in general, there are 28 houses being considered, with the architectural styles and construction type for each house being provided. The second the second table basically is the contingency table that we want to work on. We can see architecture type of different 3, 2-story, split level, and ranch, with construction type of the brick to wood. In total, there are 28 houses. The third table just is the chi-square test result. Okay, so you can copy and paste these into your solution. So as well, after you have copied and pasted, we've explained each of these 2 tables, especially the first one and second one. Now let's move on to the third one. Third one tells us about the chi-square, right? So for the third one, it tells you chi-square test. For our test statistic, which is the chi-square, it's going to be given by this value, which is 6.443. That's our test statistic, which is the chi-square. And the significance by default 0.375, that's going to be the p-value of our chi-square test. So these are the 2 items we need. Once you got that, you can go ahead and move on to the solution. Okay. So solution would start with the hypothesis, as we just mentioned. And the chi-square test will simply provide our chi-square, the test statistic. So we'll be also copying this table. So based on the SPSS output, we have the test statistic chi-square equals to 6.443 and p-value equals to 0.375. Rejection rule. Will be reject null hypothesis if p-value is less than the given alpha, which is 0.05. So if p-value is less than 0.05, reject null hypothesis and accept alternative. Now, in this case, p-value is 0.375, so absolutely we're going to fail to reject null hypothesis. There is insufficient evidence to conclude the meaning of alternative, that architectural style and construction type of house are related. So that's what you do for the hypothesis testing. To the end, you can talk about the effect size of this hypothesis testing. So phi here equals to square root of the chi-square, which is 6.443, and then 28 is going to be the sample size, right? 28 sample size. And then 3 times 3, which is the number of rows or number of columns, the minimal. So we have 3 minus 1. So that turns out to be 0.3392, which is a moderate effect. Okay, so that's the video of us doing the SPSS. In general, the steps as we haven't gone through is going to be analyze descriptive stats and crosstabs. And make sure you check the chi-square option in the statistic tabs as well. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.